For people who are looking to invest, tell me the mindset around just break even.
So for the process of getting this house, we mainly just wanted to find a good real estate agent that understood our need and what we wanted, and then make sure that they're fully aligned with that. That way we're not wasting any time in getting it. So by going to Nakia, she was able to understand what we needed, what we wanted, and she ended up finding this house for us, which is perfect for us to move in as soon as possible, and I don't have to do any work. So that was key for me, as well as making sure I didn't have to do any type of fixing or anything like that. Full turnkey, just move right in and just let my family do what they have to do. So our goal anytime we're looking at property is to either break even or make a couple $100.
Okay, so let me ask you that because I think that's very important. For people who are looking to invest, tell me the mindset around just break even. I thought that you wanted to invest to make a bunch of money. Why is just breaking even acceptable?
Because the long-term goal is every time you pay your mortgage, you make money.
Okay.
So every mortgage payment that goes into your real estate that you're going in, technically you're not breaking even in the long term because real estate appreciates over time. So breaking even now, it just means that you're delaying any cash flow or any financial satisfaction for the long term. To where you could just make a killing at the back end of it.
So I think that, again, I think that's a concept that I see buyers want to get into investing, but they don't wrap their mind around that. It doesn't sound like I'm making an income. Tell me what's been your plan and how it's worked for you.
So our plan was build slowly, but efficiently, making sure that every deal that we go into is beneficial for us, again, whether it's breaking even or making a couple dollars, to where everything that we're buying into is self-sufficient.
Okay.
Every dollar that goes into these buildings, we try not to use it from a personal standpoint, because when something goes wrong, you need to be able to have that financial backing to cover it. Investors go wrong because they try to use up that extra money for their personal lifestyle. And you put yourself in a bad situation where you start hating investing, or you don't like it because you think people on YouTube sold you a dream. But the reality is you allowed your greed to take over and not really put it into perspective. You know what I mean? Because real estate investing is a long-term goal.
Right.
It's not get rich quick, because trust me, you ain't getting rich quick. So you have to be able to separate the two, your personal, and be realistic about the goals that you're setting into place.
Okay. So I think you brought up a really good point. You know that this isn't your forever home. So you said that when you were looking at homes this time, there was something specific about this property that you considered. What will it rent for in the future?
Correct. So because our goal is to continue to build a portfolio, we want to be able to not get what's called a bad deal. You get into a house and the mortgage is so high that you can't rent it out to the average person.
Right.
So we try to stay away from those luxury style houses, because you can make any house nice with the right amount of money, right? But when it comes to rentability, you want to be able to put a family in there and get to what your goal was. You're not going to walk in and make an extra $600 a month on something that was $80,000, right? You have to be reasonable, but if you structure the deal correctly and you walk in paying the least amount, knowing your rental market later, it could really benefit you.
Okay, so that is excellent. Now, I know that based on the number of homes that we've seen, it's been like, oh, I'll fix that, I'll fix that, I'll fix that. It helps, I'm sure, tremendously to have the wherewithal to do it yourself. What would you advise, or what route would you recommend for someone who, like me, I'm not fixing nothing, right? So if I want to get into investing, what do I do?
So you have to build a team around you that you can count on and that's not going to rob you blind.
Right.
For me, it was, I would hire somebody in the craft that I needed to work to get done, and I would figure out how to do it. So by being able to do that, it helped me because I can see what you do, and it saved me thousands of dollars. For example, you got a light fixture, they charge you $80, but it takes you 3 minutes to change out.
Right.
Are you gonna pay $80 for $3? You know what I'm saying? For 3 minutes? Like, so you have to be mindful of what your budget is and what you can do long term.
Excellent, good stuff.
It also shows how invested we are because you're not wanting to keep on spending money.
Right. Right, absolutely. All right, so what are the goals? What are your future goals?
So for us, the real estate that we're investing in now is not for us. So I know this is a long-term game. So I work hard enough, and same thing with her, we work hard enough to where we're buying enough real estate to where when my kids are old enough and whenever we're gone, they will have all of this real estate. They can choose to sell it or keep it, but either way, we would put them in a financial position that we were not in at their age.
Okay, I love that. This is giving podcast, so I have more questions. I have a question about what you said specifically because it's something very important. I deal with families often that almost get offended when property has been passed through the family and then the kids want to sell it. But you, based on our experiences together, you do not have emotional ties to these properties. So how does that work for you?
So in the beginning, you get emotionally attached because of the amount of work that you put into it. But eventually, as you start to grow your portfolio, you start to disassociate yourself emotionally from it. Because if you don't, everything is personal and never business.
Right.
So you have to be able to separate those two things in order to grow. If my kids don't want to do real estate in 30, 40 years and we're gone, but they have $2 million worth of real estate, I won't be here to correct that, right? That is a choice there. And again, how you raise them in the industry is gonna dictate which direction they go. So we're hoping that they continue to grow it. That way it's generational. But if we built it, at least our kids will never be able to say we didn't have the opportunity to put ourselves in a better financial position.
100%, and see the examples along the way. No matter, because I'm the same with my kids. No matter what they decide to do, they got a solid example of how to do anything.
And we have these conversations with them.
Yes.
Even though they're 10 and 9. You understand?
You make them a part of the process.
And they're interested.
Yes.
We make them play Monopoly so they understand the rental game.
When John reached out to me, it was on two things. One, he saw my social media, right? And then his relationship with somebody that he built a wall for, right? So it was that, and then it was actually someone else in real estate that highly recommended me, and I really appreciate that. Like, people, this is what I appreciate about a recommendation. There are 1,900 other options, but I guarantee if I have the opportunity, I'm relentless in the work that I do. So I appreciate the opportunity to work with y'all. I appreciate your willingness to, because Sasha said, they kind of went quiet for a little bit, but to come back and just to trust in me to be able to get it done. And I look forward to what we'll do in the future. I know it's gonna be a great relationship. Next, let me tell you about Sasha. So this is gonna sound so crazy. I know you are not expecting this, but when I first saw Sasha in her Eagles sweatshirt, I was like, come on. Because, right, so they just remind me of my family, my people, my East Coast. When I saw her Eagles sweatshirt, I was like, yeah, my dad approves. So I want y'all to know it's like, we like family, we locked in.
Yeah, we definitely are.